جموں کشمیر میں 10 سال بعد ہونے والے انتخابات اختتام پذیر ہو رہے ہیں۔ آج آخری مرحلے میں 40 کانسٹیٹوئنسیز میں پولز ہو رہے ہیں۔ کشمیر کی سیاست، کشمیر کے انتخابات، اس چرچا پہ بات کرنے کے لیے ہمارے ساتھ موجود ہے نیشنل کانفرنس کے پریزیڈنٹ اور فارمر چیف منسٹر فاروق عبداللہ صاحب۔ فاروق صاحب، تھینک یو فار اسپیکنگ ٹو اس۔ 10 سال کے بعد جموں کشمیر میں جو انتخابات ہو رہے ہیں، آج اختتام ہو رہے ہیں، تو کس دشا میں جا رہا ہے جموں کشمیر؟
دیکھ تو ہم تو چاہتے ہیں کہ یہ اچھی دشا میں جائے، کہ بی جے پی اور آر ایس ایس یہاں ہار جائے اور لوگ ایک امید کا سانس پھر سے لیں۔ تو یہاں پہ ایک مسلط کی ہوئی تھی لیفٹیننٹ گورنر کی سرکار، وہ ختم ہو جائے اور لوگوں کی سرکار آئے، لوگوں کے مشکلات کو دور کر سکے، یہاں پہ جو ایک دباؤ تھا اس دباؤ کو ختم کر سکے، پھر سے آرام کا سانس لوگ لے سکیں۔ اس کی طرف ہماری امیدیں ہیں کہ لوگ ان کو دور رکھیں گے طاقت سے۔
جموں کشمیر میں یہ جو انتخابات ہو رہے ہیں، یہ ایک یونین ٹیریٹری کے طور پہ ہو رہا ہے، تو کہیں آپ کو اس بات کا دکھ ہے؟
مجھے دکھ بہت کچھ کا ہے۔ 5 اگست سے مجھے دکھ ہے، جب ان نے ہمارا سب کچھ چھین لیا، ہمارے تشخص کو ختم کرنے کی کوشش کی۔ میں نے تو کبھی آج تک، جب سے ہندوستان آزاد ہوا ہے، کبھی یہ نہیں دیکھا کہ ایک اسٹیٹ کو یونین ٹیریٹری بنایا جائے، بلکہ میں نے تو دیکھا کہ یونین ٹیریٹریز جو ہے وہ اسٹیٹ بن گئی ہیں۔ آپ دیکھیے، جھارکھنڈ دیکھ لیجیے آپ، وہ اسٹیٹ بنی۔ ہر جگہ آپ دیکھیے، یہ انہوں نے میرے خیال سے ہم سے انتقام لیا ہے، کیونکہ ہم مسلم میجورٹی اسٹیٹ ہے، تو انتقام لینا چاہتی تھی۔ اور ہم نے دیکھا ان کا ایٹیچیوڈ، ہم نے دیکھا گجرات میں کس طرح کئی 3,000 سے زائد مسلمانوں کو انہیں مارا۔ یو پی کا حال دیکھا ہم نے، وہاں پہ کیسے مسلمانوں کے گھروں کو بلڈوزر لگائے گئے، اسکولوں کو، مسجدوں کو۔ اس چیز سے ہم لوگ اللہ سے مانگتے ہیں کہ ہمیں نجات دے ان سے۔
فاروق صاحب، آپ نے پچھلے بیان میں یہ بھی کہا تھا کہ آرٹیکل 370-35 جو اسپیشل پروویژنس گورنمنٹ کانسٹیٹیوشن آف انڈیا نے دی تھی، اس لڑائی میں 100 سال بھی لگ سکتے ہیں۔
دیکھیے، حیرانی تو مجھے یہ ہے، کیا شیڈول کاسٹ کی ریزرویشن 25 سال کے نہیں تھی؟ آج بھی چل رہی ہے، آگے بھی چلے گی۔ کیا ضرورت تھی ان کو؟ کیونکہ ان کا بگننگ سے، جب سے یہ آرٹیکل ہمیں ملا تھا، سنگھ کا یہی تھا ایٹیچیوڈ کہ یہ نہیں ہونا چاہیے۔ یہ نہیں جانتے تھے کہ یہ ضروری تھا اس ریاست کے لیے۔ اس ریاست کے لیے مہاراجہ ہری سنگھ جی نے 1927 میں، جبکہ ہندوستان پاکستان نہیں تھا، اس ڈر سے کہ یہ ریاست غریب ریاست ہے اور پنجاب جو ہے امیر ہے، پڑھے لکھے ہیں، ہمارے یہاں پڑھے لکھے نہیں تھے، کہ وہ ہماری زمینیں لے لیں گے، نوکریاں لے لیں گے، تو اس بچاؤ کے لیے انہوں نے وہ قانون لایا کہ بھائی ڈوگرا جو ہے وہ ختم ہو جائے گا، زبان ختم ہو جائے گی۔ اسی کو کنٹینیو کیا 370 میں۔
ڈاکٹر صاحب، جب آرٹیکل 370 ایبریگوٹ کیا گیا تو اس سے 2 دن پہلے آپ وزیر اعظم سے ملے۔ جب آپ واپس آئے، جب آرٹیکل 370 کو ایبریگوٹ کیا گیا اور آپ شاید تب لائیو مناظر دیکھ رہے تھے، تو کیا ریئیکشن تھا آپ کا؟ ور یو ان شاک؟
مجھے بہت there's no question of shock. I was just shaken up that when we met the Prime Minister, it was nothing like this. انہوں نے کچھ کہا ہی نہیں، بلکہ میں نے ان سے پوچھا کہ جو اتنی فوج جا رہی ہے کشمیر، کیا آپ لوگوں نے کوئی لڑائی کرنی ہے؟ کوئی جواب نہیں دیا۔ اور یہ حال تھا کہ وزیر جو آرام سے بیٹھے ہوئے تھے ہوٹلوں میں، ان کو زور سے ان کو نکالا گیا، گاڑیوں میں بٹھایا گیا، امرناتھ یاترا کو بند کر دیا، کہا کہ وہاں ایک بندوق ملی ہے۔ سب جھوٹ۔
What role did the then governor Satyapal Malik play in all this?
He himself regrets it, not me telling you. When he gave an interview to Kapil Sibalji and he asked him questions, he said he didn't know that he couldn't do this. They didn't tell him. He was totally taken unaware of what his rights were. It could not be done without the assembly being in session. That is why I think they planned all those things, the Mehboobaji's dismissal and all these things they did. And then suddenly Satyapal Malik saying that he didn't get because the fax machine was not working and therefore that we were able to form a government. All made up. All made up.
So it was a pre-planned, it was already...
All planned by them. They just wanted that majority in the parliament.
Do you fear that if BJP comes to power, they'll make more laws and make the
I think they will change the demography of the state. That's what they intend to do. That's why they want to bring people from outside to settle here, so that the Muslim majority state disappears. They live in cuckoo world. It's never going to happen.
And in this case, how important is NC Congress government for Jammu and Kashmir, for the people of Jammu and Kashmir?
It's very important. Very important. If people want that their rights should be returned, if people want that justice must return to the state, and Jammu and Kashmir must flourish again, rise to the heights that Ghulam Nabi Azad Sahab showed in the Rajya Sabha when he compared the two states and gave figures, set figures which are still in the parliament for showing that Jammu and Kashmir is much higher. We had 320, we had 370, we had 35A. He showed that we are much higher. And that is what that hit them, I'm sure. Prime Minister, and they were all listening. They thought we will have to bring the state down. And they tried. In these years, you see what they have done to us in these 10 years.
Do you fear there is a design between the release of Engineer Rashid from jail and Jamaat fielding its members in the assembly? So,
you see, let me tell you. First, he is not an engineer. He's a mate. I don't know how he's been declared as an engineer. When you speak to him, ask him, where did he get the degree from? Which engineering college did he go to? It's all planned. Why did they leave him only from the jail till 2nd of October? Tomorrow he'll be back in jail to divide our votes. I'm not against Jamaat coming out and taking part in election because they were always in favor of Pakistan.
but is the
I'm
timing...
ashamed
But is
that those people who fought all these years thinking that Kashmir should become part of Pakistan, now, thank God, they have returned to the main field.
And do you think their participation in polls will somehow affect the National Conference and Congress alliance?
I don't think so. They have their own areas of influence. The question is how much those people will realize what they are doing is wrong. Because there is a section of this Jamaat who don't agree with them, who have openly said that they are not part of us. So there is a battle between the two wings of Jamaat.
Dr. Saab, today is the last day of polling, the third phase. So which way do you see the wind blowing?
I hope it blows in favor of National Conference and Congress. The rest is up to people. It's for people to decide. What do they want? It's for them.
Dr. Saab, in your over 40 years career, you have seen many ups and downs in Kashmir's political landscape. What is the most disturbing thing apart from this Article 370 that still haunts you?
A lot of things haunt me. I've had very checkered history. Even when I became Chief Minister, I was thrown out of power by the government, those who were in Delhi at that time. I was not a Khalistani or a Pakistani or an American agent. But they tried to show this to the world and to the people of India. I've seen that also. I've seen later also.
Are mainstream leaders, especially those in Kashmir, being looked upon with suspicion by New Delhi?
You see, as I told the Prime Minister when we met, when he called the leaders in that time of COVID, and I had just recovered from COVID, I didn't even have the strength to go. But they said, no, please come. Without you, it will not work. I told him frankly. And I still believe the factor that is missing between us and Delhi is trust. They don't trust us or we don't trust them. That is unfortunate. From day one, from my father's time, this trust factor has been missing. And I don't know for how long this trust factor will stay. दिल की दूरी और दिल्ली की दूरी जो है प्रधानमंत्री खुद कहते हैं, मगर क्या उस दूरी को कोशिश की ने दूर करने की? क्या उन बच्चों को छोड़ा जिसका वादा उन्होंने हमसे किया था? ये कमेटी बिठाएंगे, उसमें देखेंगे जिन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया है उनको छोड़ देंगे. क्या किया? सड़ रहे हैं उनके जेलों में. क्या ये इंसाफ है? और दिलों को जोड़ने की कोशिश है? कितना और दबाने की कोशिश करेंगे? हमारा मीडिया दबाया गया है, हमारे अफसर डरते हैं, उनको कुर्सियों से हटा देंगे. सब अफसर बाहर से लाए गए. ये हाल है इस रियासत.
Dr. Saab, Prime Minister Modi says with Article 370 abrogation, Kashmir issue is over now. Do you agree?
Kashmir issue will never be over. Kashmir issue is still on the books of United Nations.
Is it?
Let's be frank about it. It is there. Tell me, why did they bring people from embassies here to see the election? Why? Do they take those members to the elections that are going on in Haryana? Or when they happen in Maharashtra, will they take them there? In their hearts of hearts, they are not sure whether we are part of them or we are not part of them. That is the problem. That is where their problem lies.
Dr. Saab, do you believe that Kashmir is still a flashpoint between the three nuclear powers?
It is. We have China on our border. They have captured nearly 2,000 kilometers of our land and are advancing. Pakistan is on our border. Terrorism is coming from there because they are not accepting that we are part of India. They say it's still disputed.
Dr. Saab, where do you see Kashmir 10 years from now?
I think if they do not mend relations with both nations, this is going to be a flashpoint for future. I regret that.
Dr. Saab, parliamentary elections were held, assembly elections are concluding today, but you didn't participate in these polls. Are you considering retirement from active politics?
Let me tell you what my father told me once when I told him he didn't want me to take part in election. He said, once you get into this river, you will either flow with the current, or if you have the strength, you will be able to fight the current. But you can never get out of it.
So how has your journey been from a doctor to a politician over these decades?
It's been up and down. Nothing is stable. Nothing is stable. It is a terrible journey. I wish I had listened to my father and not joined politics at that time. But it was meant for me to go through this turbulent times in life.
Sir, your grandson Zahir delivered a very beautiful speech at Ganderbal. Can we expect any of your grandsons joining politics soon?
That I can't tell. I don't have Aladdin's lamp that I can rub it and ask the genie whether it's going to happen. That I do not know. What is in store I don't know. I wanted my son not to join politics, as my father asked me. But it happened.
But do you see a reflection of Sher-e Kashmir in any of your grandchildren?
I don't know. Sher-e Kashmir was far taller. And I don't think anybody of us can match him. No question.
Dr. Saab, will J&K, Jammu and Kashmir, get a new government, an alliance government of National Conference and Congress?
I hope so. I pray so. I hope it does happen. Because there's no question of aligning with BJP. No question. Those who are enemies of people, who have shown no love, but accept only hatred, hatred and hatred, I don't think National Conference and Congress Alliance can go with them.
My last question, Dr. Saab. What are the challenges for the next government that takes place in Jammu and Kashmir?
Tremendous challenges. Tremendous challenges. First of all, restoration of the statehood. Powers to be returned to the state, not to the governor. He's just a constitutional head. You can't have a government of people and the governor holding all the powers and the government of people has no power. That's a big challenge, major challenge. Then winning the hearts of people who have had all sorts of tragedies in these years. The unemployment, major factor. The inflation, tremendous thing. Development. Some areas need immediate help. So many things. And we need a liberal government in Delhi that will look into these things. And not promise, only promise and promise and nothing else. That is important.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for speaking to us.
God bless you.
God bless you too.